Hey guys, this is Nico, and in this video today, I'm gonna answer the question: how much money is actually a lot of money? We're gonna take a look at some data from Forbes. This video was inspired by a podcast I listened to. It was the Business Launch podcast by Ryan Dice and Rowan Fraser, and they discussed the topic: what does it take to call yourself wealthy, or something like this. And in this video, I'm just gonna talk about net worth. What does it mean to be ultra rich? How much money do you need to make to call yourself ultra rich? Because this is statistic, this is data, and I'm gonna share some very interesting stats on wealth in this video. In this channel, I talk about business, wealth, and marketing, and in this video specifically, we're gonna talk about wealth. So I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna start with the very first source. And this was the podcast by Ryan Dice and Rowan Fraser. How much money makes you wealthy? That's the topic for this podcast. And this just kind of like made me think, and this was inspired me to create this video. And in this video, kind of like one of the main ideas was how much money do I need to make to stop working. And according to Rowan Fraser in the podcast, he said that you need to make at least $10 million to stop working. So I kind of agree. In the podcast, they talk about if you make $1 million, and if you think about $1 million today, due to like inflation and the economy, that's not a lot of money. $1 million is not a lot of money because you buy a Lambo and you buy a house and you're pretty much broke. So I think 30 years ago or like 20 years ago, $1 million was quite a lot of money because you can buy a decent house, you can buy a decent car, but now everything is so expensive. And in this podcast, they had this idea: how much money do you need to make in order to be, let's say, financially free, to be financially, how should I say it, financially calm, not to worry about bills. And they said that if you made 10K per month, you'll be good. But if you want to call yourself wealthy, you need to make at least $10 million and work free. And this was according to Ryan Dice and Ron Fraser. Do I agree? I think, yeah, I agree with those guys because I think they've been teaching marketing business, and they've been thinking about wealth way before when I was like born. Those are like older guys, so I agree. And I don't agree just because they're older, but I kind of like value their expertise. And if I switch to like one of the Forbes articles I discovered. So what does it mean to be a high net worth individual, right? What does it mean to be like a high net worth individual? So people or households who own liquid assets valued between $1 million and $5 million. And here we talk about liquid assets. So liquid assets, those are things you could sell, or those are things you have in the bank. For example, if you have a house that is worth $1 million, and if you have like a car that is worth like $50,000, this would be like your network. And if we just consider that you don't have any liabilities, so high net worth individuals are between $1 million and $5 million. And according to an article I've read back in the days, I think 7% of the households in America are worth above $1 million. So it's like quite a lot of people, in my opinion. Very high net worth individuals, those are people that are that hold liquid assets valued between $5 million and $30 million. And the ultra high net worth individuals, they make more than $30 million in liquid assets. And yeah, if you want to call yourself ultra rich, you need to acquire liquid assets that are more than $30 million, right? And here in this article, they talk about how net worth is being calculated, and net worth equals assets minus liabilities. For example, if you have a house that is worth $2 million, but you have unpaid mortgage that is like um, worth $1 million, that means your net worth is $1 million. $1 million. So yeah, this is kind of like the main idea. And according to Ryan Dice and Rowan Fraser, you need to make at least $10 million to call yourself wealthy. And in my opinion, like if you're worth $10 million, that's like a lot of money because you can buy the Nasdaq um, and you can just live off like the Nasdaq dividends or whatever you want to call them. Or you can just create one of those portfolios and you'll be good to go. You don't need to work, you know. So here, like, in order to get to like the, if you need to like, if you need to be valued between 1 million and 5 million, maybe you, if you buy a house today and if this house like increases in value in the next 10 years, for example, let's say you buy your house for like 250K and it just like quadruples its value over like the next 10 years, you'll be worth $1 million. But in my experience, in my opinion, in order to get into the very high net worth individuals or the ultra high net worth individuals, you need to be like very smart with business. You need to be very smart with your money, and you need to be very good with investing. Here, uh, in order to generate more than $30 million, it's gonna be um, maybe somehow difficult because you need to learn investing. You might need to learn how to start a business. You need to be very, very smart with your money. And I've read in one of my channels, if in I think in this channel because I don't have any other channels. In order to be this rich, I think the most reasonable way to achieve it would be to start a business. You know, this is my personal experience. And here, if you're like a earner, if you don't want to start a business, here are the top 1%, top 5%, and top 10%, and how much do they earn per year. So in order to get into the 10%, let me scroll a little bit down, you need to have average annual wages of $173,000. And this is the data from 2020. Let me make this bigger maybe, so it's like easier for you to see it. In order to get to the top 5% of earners, you need to have average wages for average annual wages of 342K. In order to be in the top 1% of earners, you need to generate 8,823K. 823K, yeah. That's exactly how you need to generate. You need to generate that in average wages or more. And if you be in the top 0.1% of earners, you need to generate slightly more than $3 million per year. So as you can see, it's gonna be very, very difficult for like the top 10% earners to get to 0% earners. So I don't know. In my opinion, this is not the data. In order to get to that level of income, you need to be like a high-level CEO. You need to be like a just like, I don't know, a business owner, but you need to be very, very successful. No matter what you do, you'll be super, super successful. You'll be ultra, not like ultra rich, but yeah, you'll be ultra rich if you could like, if you're smart with those 3 millions, if you invest, if you buy very good assets, you could get to like 30 millions very, very easy. And just here in 3 years, if you earn 3 millions of average wages, you'll get to like $10 million, right? You earn $10 million. If you spend all the money, you won't earn anything. And yeah, here there is like another statistic. So the bottom 90% earn $40,000 in annual wages, you know. And this is kind of like very ridiculous because there is like a bunch of people earning like 40K and just a few, just very, very few earn like the big money, you know. And so there is another data. I don't think so. I don't think I'll get into the data. Are the richer getting richer, you know? So yeah, the wages of the top 1% grew by 112% almost, while the rate of growth for those in the top one was more than twice as high. So yeah, this article says yes, the richer are getting richer, and let's see, there is some statistics on the billionaires, and I think this is this article. And if we have to talk about, here's how much money you have to earn to be in top percent in some of the USA states. To be in the top 1% in Connecticut, you need to earn close to $900,000, and I'm not sure why is that, but this is Connecticut. In Massachusetts, you need to earn 810K. In New York, you need to earn 777K. In New Jersey, 760K. California, 745K. I expected this for California to be higher, but I'm quite surprised. In Washington, you need to earn 685K, and in Colorado, you need to earn 632K. So Illinois, 627K. In Florida, 623K, you know. And here there is like a very cool article from Business Insider on 7 differences between the ultra wealthy and the millionaire next door. And here the ultra wealthy are people who earn more than 30 million, and the millionaire next doors are people who are somewhere between, I'd say, 1 million to 5, maybe $10 million, you know. And it's like quite a interesting article because it says that the ultra wealthy work because they want to. They don't need to work. So if you have $30 million, you don't need to work. Even if you don't do anything, and if you don't spend like crazy, if you don't buy Rolls Royces every few months, and if you don't buy like extremely luxury properties all around the world, you can live off this money over like a few lifetimes. I think I read this statistic that said that an average worker in America earns around $1 million for a lifetime of working. So a lot of people will work their whole life and their total wages would be around $1 million. So imagine if you have like $30 million. That's quite a lot of money. Something very, very interesting here when that it says that the ultra wealthy display their wealth in a different way. And there is Mark Zuckerberg on the picture. He has like a very cheap shirt, jeans, and sneakers. So nothing flashy about Mark Zuckerberg. But if you see some of those like rappers that are not even worth like $2 million, they would have like jewelries and they would be driving expensive cars. If the ultra wealthy retire at all, they do it later. So this kind of like glances at the ultra wealthy habits, and pretty much this article suggests, in another words, that the ultra wealthy people are workaholics, and in some cases they will never retire. They will die working. Maybe they do it because they love it. Maybe they see it as like something that's like very, very interesting and very, very valuable for them. And millionaires next doors are younger than the ultra wealthy on average. It takes time to generate wealth. I think the average age of the average millionaire in America was around 60 years old, and in order to get to like the, I don't know, 30 millions or above, you need to work, and in some cases this is not you could achieve in like, I don't know, a few years or like even 20 years. So it's gonna take you quite a lot of time. The ultra wealthy favor riskier investments than millionaire. So the ultra wealthy people are more like eager to risk their wealth and just invest into riskier things, but that's maybe because they have a lot more money to spend, you know. So think about it. If you have like $30 million in the bank, you can easily buy like Bitcoin for like 200K, But if you have just $1 million and if you want to buy crypto for like 200K, it's 20% of your net worth or of your assets. So maybe this makes sense for me. Millionaires' fortunes are more stable than those of the ultra wealthy. And this is something surprising for me. I'm not sure how to explain this, but um, for example, if you have quite a lot of money, you have like probably you have like more assets, and you might have some, I don't know, lawsuits. You might have like a bunch of things happening for you to lose some of your wealth. And you know, here this article gives some examples, but I won't go into the details. And another thing, the ultra wealthy are more likely to spread their portfolio across the globes. So I think that means that if you're ultra wealthy, you can acquire businesses and like acquire assets all around the world. So if you're a ultra wealthy person living in the States, you might buy like a factory in Germany or something like this. This is how I read this data. And this was the article for today. So let me switch the screen. I'm gonna switch the screen. This was the video for today. We've discussed how much money do you need to make to call yourself rich, ultra rich, etc. How much money do you need to make in order to in order not to work? And we took a look at some very interesting data from Forbes and some other articles such as Business Insider and so on. My name is Nico. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. In this channel, I talk about business, wealth, and marketing. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.